Good day. We are a team of the English class. We are going to present the homework number 5 for Unit 3, and we are going to present a final project for the integrator class, but in English. We are Aaron Alvidres, Alan Castañeda, Daniel Delgado, Brian Hernandez, and myself, Ana Rubio. Okay, so starting with the introduction, we will explain how the project was born. Most of the plastics can be used again without rigorous treatment. For this reason, this material has become indispensable for many industries, including cosmetic, cleaning, food, among others, causing large volumes of waste. Many companies are carrying out recycling and treatment initiatives for this material. Under this same thought, we decided to work at this project whose goal is to innovate and improve existing plastic crushers.
The next part are the objectives. For the creation of this project, we specified general and specific objectives at the beginning of the research. Objectives that we will mention. To start, we will talk about the general objective, which is the implementation of the automation in a device that, through the integration of electronic components, is capable of shredding PET waste for its treatment. To be more specific, we also include 4 objectives consistent in the creation of a virtual interface capable of interacting with the user to control the device. Next, we have the creation of a system that allows measuring the volume and weight occupied by the plastic flakes. As our third objective, we have the implementation of a more practical system for crushing PET than the existing ones. And finally, the design of a more compact and secure device that its predecessors.
Reasons for the project. One of the main reasons why we decided to do this project was because it never hurts to help the planet and its pollution. And by coupling this with the career we are taking, we wanted to help the planet in a more automated way, including the knowledge that we were acquiring. The second reason for this project is that the possibility of making a profit of this material is amazing because you can use it in a creating, can be used as like a material to make clothes and etc.
The next is the parts of it. To create the full simulation of our project, we use a few softwares, which we learned to use during the time in the TSU, including Proteus, Visual Basic, SolidWorks, and the PIC-C compiler. We connected the programmation made on PIC-C compiler with the simulation of the electrical components in Proteus. We will explain this part and all the simulation later in this video. We decide to create the modeling and mechanical simulation in SolidWorks and the user's application in Visual Studio.
In this part of the project, we decide to model our device using SolidWorks. We have here 2 pictures of the product. In the superior part, we can see how the large design is made for the user security and prevents the user to have an accident by introducing the arm. The design is also made for big bottles of PET. In the middle part of the equipment, we have the crushing part, which consists into axis carrying out cutting blades. This part is also connected to an electrical monophasic with 2 or horsepower. This motor is in charge of the moving of the blades. Right behind of the crushing part, we have the internal container, which will have a sensor of level attached. This sensor will measure the level of flakes, and with the programming, it will send the information to the motor of the little gates to open them automatically. The crashing box is also over a table, which will have a free part for the user to put the laptop they will be using. In the bottom of the equipment, we have an external container. This one is removable and can be used to carry the material after it's crushing.
Okay, so in this part, we have a little diagram in which we explain how the energy is distributed. In the first part, we have how the energy that is in alternating current, it's going to arrive to the motor in 110 volts. And this part of the energy is also going to affect at the blades. Also, in the other part, we have the same current, which is also in alternance, and it's going to arrive into a regulator that is going to have 5 volts of direct current. And this one is going to, let's say, feed the microcontroller, and this microcontroller is going to feed also the motors for the gates.
Okay, in this part, we use two software. The first is in Big C compiler. We use language C of programming, and the other program is named Use. Using the Pixie, we will make all the programming stuff like sending zeros or ones and receiving zeros or ones. All this controls the function of the motor, gates, and the sensor. The part of the program simulation, we can see the connections to the microcontroller. The lower sensor will send and receive information to and from the microcontroller. We can also see the motors functioning and the gates motors. These motors will rotate when the sensor gets the level of information. Once we move the potentiometer, simulate the level, the display will show different distance. If we simulate the emptiness, the gate will remain closed. Finally, we have to push button that will function as a stop button. If we press, it will end all the flow of energy.
And now we have the user's program. In this part of the project is going to be the principal way that the user are going to control the on-off of the motor, the open and close of the gates, and where the crush material is going to fall. To start with, we are going to select the port that the serial communication is on. Then the user is going to push the button that says connect. After that, the easiest part of the program will begin. To continue, if the user wants the motor to turn on, he needs to push the green button, turn on, and an indicator LED is going to turn on, indicating that the motor is working. Then the user is going to have a question that is how many percent or how many kilograms do you want the container to be emptied? And there will be 4 options to choose from. After the user's choice, the checkbox chosen by the user is going to disable the other options. And when the container fills until that choice, the sensor is going to be filling up, and when the track bar equals or passes the choice, the motor is going to turn off and an indicator of the full container is going to turn on, indicating that the gates are going to open and drop the crushed material to an external container. When this part of the process occurs and the internal container is empty, the gates will close and the motor will be turned on. After this happens, the process will be repeated until the external container will fill. If it fills, the user needs to press the empty external container and the motor automatically will be turned off. To continue with the process, the only thing to do is close the external gate and continue normally.
And Finally, as a conclusion, we can say that this project can be made in physical, according to this research we made of the cost, but also for the success of the simulations we had. The project's functioning can be demonstrated since each process can be simulated on the software without any inconvenience. And also, we were able to simulate the process with physical components as well. And that will be it. Thank you very much for your attention.